Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to everyone. Please let me know you can hear me and see my slides. And also in the chat box, go ahead, introduce yourself. Where are you dialing in from? Lovely to have you all here. Welcome to everyone. I'm checking now, over 53 registrations for this evening and 5 people here right now with a growth mindset, hoping you can learn, or definitely wishing you can learn something new today that I can share with you. So welcome to Managers' Most Common Mistakes Masterclass. Please go ahead. If you would like to put your camera on, that would be fabulous. I love connecting with energy. But please also let me know you can see me and hear me clearly. Hi, Nontombi from South Africa. Hello, nice to have you here. Let me know where are you dialing in from. And you can see my slides and you can hear me before I dive straight in. There's nothing worse than starting a webinar and somebody didn't hear me or couldn't see my slides. Yes, you can dive in. Thank you, Natombi. Fabulous. I'm glad to hear. Please go ahead. Let me know, where are you dialing in from? Good evening. Welcome to all. And grateful that you're here on this freezing cold Tuesday evening. So yes, I can see inside. It's fantastic. Sharon from South Africa. Excellent. There we go. I see a few people coming in. Stanford, welcome. I saw you here earlier. Grateful you're here. Hi, Cindy from Cape Town. Norco from South Africa. Fabulous. Calvin's come into the room. Isaac. iPhone, go ahead and change your name or just drop your name. Maybe just your full name if it's not showing up on the screen for iPhone Noko. So I know who you are. Let me know where you're dialing in from, and welcome to everyone that has joined so far. So please feel free to share the link and get some people in. Calvin, fabulous Calvin, where are you dialing in from? Hi, Wandile. Nice to have you all. Really, really, really excited to be sharing some powerful tools with you this evening. So this evening, we're sharing some of managers' most common mistakes masterclass. Fantastic. Thank you, Calvin from South Africa. Fabulous. A beautiful, cold South Africa at the moment. I'm working with quite a lot of my clients in Europe and in America, and they're all sitting in their little sundresses or t-shirts, boiling hot as we are sitting here huddled in as many layers of clothing as we can. How many of you feel the same? So I am going to dive straight in. 9 people in the room. I want to thank you again for being here this evening, spending this evening with me. And I am going to ask you to give yourself the gift of time. So please go ahead, switch your cell phones off. You know, if you want to take notes, please feel free to take notes as well. But I would highly recommend you close that email browser. You close those games that you think you can listen and play a game at the same time, because even if you listen to me 100%, you're only going to hear 40% of what I say. Quite scary. So give yourself the gift of time. Fabulous. Isaac from South Africa. Excellent. Hi, Isaac Mahlango. Wonderful to have you all here. So how many of you feel like you live the perfect, balanced life? Wow, I was going to say, my slides aren't changing. That while you are at work, you can achieve all your goals. So when you get home, you can have quality time with your family, your friends, and even yourself. I mean, days off on the golf course. What about pamper days at the spa? Long, lazy lunches on a wine farm on a beautiful summer's day, or dinner dates with your partner. I mean, doesn't this just sound like the perfect life? Or is it just a dream? So often when I'm coaching and training and working with my clients, so many of them say, Nikki, all we need is more time, more balance, How many of you feel the same? Now, disclosure, I haven't yet mastered balance, but the tools I use and share is what helps me stay balanced or bring balance back into my life. Because the truth, can balance be mastered? Well, think about somebody walking across a tightrope between two high-rise buildings. When is balance the most important? Beginning, the middle, or the end? Let me know in the chat box. When is balance the most important? Beginning, middle, or the end? When do you think balance is the most important? Beginning, middle, or the end? Go ahead, let me know. Let's get that chat box on fire so I know your fingers are keeping warm. I'm going to give it a minute while I'm waiting for you to type. From the beginning, Calvin, thank you. Right? And from the beginning, also every step of the way. So often we feel like we need to be balanced at the beginning, or some people say in the middle, or right at the end. Balance is something that we need to focus on every step of the way. So this is for you this evening. I think at the middle, because you need to balance family and work. Thank you. In the middle. Awesome. So this is for you. If you would love to learn a lot more or could do with a lot more work, life, and balance. This is also for you. If you don't know how to recruit the perfect team member that's going to support you in giving you work-life balance. This is also for you if you're managing your team, but not leading your team. This is also for you if you want to learn how to delegate, because now you're delegating and you don't always achieve your desired results. And this is also for you if you want to learn effective communication for each team member. So let me know which one resonates the most for you. A, you'd love more work-life balance. B, understand how to recruit the perfect team member. C, learning how to lead your team, understanding their personalities. D, be able to delegate for a win-win. Or E, just have effective communication for your entire team. Let me know which one resonates the most. A, B, C, D, or E. You can welcome to choose more than one, but let me know. All right, so Wandile says A and E. Thank you. Work-life balance and effective communication, Wandile. Fabulous. All right, iPhone, Noko, A and C. Thank you. B and E, recruitment and effective communication. Fabulous. Love these answers coming through. A, D, and E. Fantastic. So while you keep going, let me know where you are at. My next question I want to ask you are you currently in a leadership position? So please in the chat box, thank you. Let me know, yes or no. Okay. Avina, yes, you are. Thank you. Wandile says yes. Fabulous. I see lots of yeses coming through, some no's coming through, and that's perfectly okay. Even if you're not in a leadership role right now, but your goal is to get there, this is the place for you. My second question is, have you studied for this leadership position, or were you internally promoted? So if you're currently in a leadership role, if you were internally promoted, you're welcome just to put IP, or studied at capital S. Let me know. Did you study a bit of both? Thank you. Because often what I find specifically in South Africa is a lot of people in South Africa have been internally promoted. What happens is people will, especially in South Africa, we identify shining stars. We then see them with a growth potential and we start promoting them internally, but not always giving the necessary training. Having worked internationally, it is very difficult to get a role as a manager without a degree. Now, I love that South Africa does internal promotion. I just sometimes wish that the training would go hand in hand. As That way, you would prevent making all these mistakes that I'm going to share with you, because these were the mistakes I learned. Because it's really not your fault. It's not your fault that you are a shining star and somebody saw the potential in you and you got internally promoted. It's also not your fault that sometimes you feel like you're putting out fires. Often the fires we started. It's not your fault that you haven't learned skills on how to recruit the best team member for your team. Or some of us don't even have a say with who comes into our team. It's not your fault that you haven't learned how to manage different personalities and therefore understanding how to lead them through effective communication. And it's not your fault that you haven't learned all the steps of how to delegate effectively to get the desired results. Or more importantly, the importance of effective communication as a leader. And that is going to end in the next 90 minutes. I would love to wave my magic wand and go wish, 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 and give you some magic tools on how I can help you right there. Because I get this. I started in the hospitality sector at the age of 15, working in a restaurant in Cape Town, working every school holidays and public holidays. That when I turned 18, they offered me my first assistant management role. I did that for a year before I decided I wanted to go and explore the world. And I was very blessed to do that on a boat, sailed across the Atlantic twice, and then landed up in the Caribbean at a small little restaurant called Capriccio's. At the age of 22, I got my first job as an assistant manager. My boss, a dictatorial, aggressive leader. I mean, his tantrums were Oscar worthy. When I'd worked for him for 3 months, I was the longest manager that had ever worked for him. And I survived 3.5 years. Then I decided to go work in another restaurant across the bay where actually Bob Marley used to play soccer at. One of the most beautiful restaurants, and I managed this for 4 years, working with an incredible international clientele and staff alike. And I got wonderful international experience. When I returned back to South Africa, 2004, with my little Caribbean souvenir on my hip, I didn't want to come back with a t-shirt, so I brought a baby. And then I came back as a single mom and joined the Woolworths coffee shops as a coffee shop manager. At that stage, the coffee shops were still quite small and new. We only had 32 restaurants. Having spent 14 years with Woolworths, when I left, we had over 150 restaurants. Staff complement started at 452. When I left, over 2,500 staff. We grew really fast. And we started growing coffee shops, we started growing staff members, and that's when I started developing a lot of our training material. But as we're opening stores, as we were recruiting, bringing new people on, I really grew to be exhausted. And this quote popped up for me, the 3 C's of life: choices, chances, changes. You must make a choice to take a chance, or your life would never change. And I was like, I've been doing management now for about 12 years and, making a lot of mistakes. I'm sure there must be simplified tools that can help me. I asked my director if I could go and do some studying. And he said, of course, whatever you choose to do, as long as you come back, train our teams and write training manuals. During my 14 years, I was very blessed because I got to put the systems in place to make those changes. I wrote 5 of our training manuals, plus trained a whole team, and from our leadership, management, all the way trickling down to all our staff. I discovered these simplified tools that could help us work smarter and not harder. Where for the last 10 years, while I worked with Woolworths Coffee Shops, I was the National Customer Service Head, overseeing a team of 8 regional managers. We had then over 300 managers and 2,500 staff. I also wrote our training for leadership and traveled nationally training leadership as well as recruitment. An incredible journey. But after 29 years in hospitality, I knew I couldn't continue in hospitality for another 29 years. And that's when I decided to step into the real estate fraternity as a team leader, focusing on training and recruitment. Now, during this time, I also realized that the language of leadership was universal. I spent 16 months working at Keller Williams, and 2 days before the president put the country in lockdown, our entire leadership team got retrenched. And that's when I decided, well, let me take my 14 years expertise working at Woolworths training as well in real estate. And that's when I started the Winning Attitude Skills Training. When I came back to South Africa, I met my gorgeous husband. He was a single dad. I was a single mom. There's my beautiful Caribbean souvenir on the bottom left-hand side. And now we have a lovely blended family. The Winning Attitude has just turned 5 years old, and I have now trained hundreds of thousands of people, nationally and internationally. I'm also a trained public speaker, keynote speaker, and a TEDx Cape Town speaker coach. And these are the tools that I've learned that I've also applied to all my training that I share with my clients. So again, thank you for being here. I want to welcome you to Managers' Most Common Mistakes Masterclass. And I'm really hoping you've gained huge amount of insights this evening. And again, I appreciate you being here. As a thank you for you being here as well, I will be sending you an email at the end of our session this evening with a little booklet of the 13 most common mistakes we make as managers. But there's one thing I'm going to ask you. If you could please, in the chat box, pop your email address either to everyone or you can send it directly to me. So once I've finished this evening, I can pull our attendance register. As I said, we had 53 people sign up for this evening. I see we have 12 people in the room. So I can then quickly put together the attendance register so I can pop you that email off as quickly as possible as the thank you. So if you don't mind, pop your email address in the chat box, either privately or to me, so I can then just go ahead, tag you, make sure you get the right email, and pop that to you after this evening's session. But I'm transparent. There's an elephant in this room. I mean, I cannot share my last 31 years experience in leadership in 90 minutes. So only with permission, and when we get there, I am going to ask you if I can share more information on my leadership course with you. For those of you that have never worked with me before or have never heard of me, you're welcome to go and Google Nikki Abraham or the Winning Attitude Skills Training and go and see what other people have said about me. I've got 116 now 5-star reviews. I lie, 2 of them are 4-star, and 25 Facebook reviews. Go and see what other people have said about the training they've received and the tools I've shared to make a difference in their lives. So while I see this chat box is filling up with those email addresses, thank you so much. Some of them coming through privately, absolutely perfect. If I don't have your details, the people that are the iPhones and Samsung, I'm not going to be able to tag you to send you that thank you email. So please, please give me your details. All right, in the chat box, let me know. Are you in? Are you ready? Awake, alive, alert, enthusiastic? Let me know in the chat box. All right, Calvin says, let's go. Love the energy, Calvin. Thank you. Are you in? Let me know. Only Calvin and I. Should we go into breakout room? I am enthused. Thank you. In it. In it to win it. Thank you, Sharon. Wonderful. So please, please, please. There we go. Got that. Natombi says, yes, 3 people are ready. Let's go. Let's go. Super excited. Wonderful. Excellent. So let's dive straight in. What is the difference between a manager and a leader? Well, often a manager can stand in front of a group of people, give them a direct instruction, walk away. But when nothing changes, you simply just a person taking a walk. The difference between a manager and a leader is a leader has the ability to influence their team to achieve a common goal. They can stand in front of the room, share a direct instruction, get everyone's buy-in, and that is somebody who's leading a team. Now, in order for us to do that, we also need to be able to get the respect from our team. But so often, managers are promoted into this position, into this role, with a little or zero training. I know for my first decade in a management role, I had zero training and was really just winging it. And what we don't know often ends up costing us time and energy and trust, and sometimes good staff members. So today's session is going to show you these challenges, that these challenges are real, but they are not permanent. So it all starts here with your mindset. As a manager, as a leader, focusing on your positive mindset is so important for your team. Your mindset is an inside to an outside experience. Stepping into a leadership role is a privilege. You are there to help and empower others. And if somebody saw the light in you and promoted you, see the light in others to help others and guide them with their growth as well. So it's focusing on your mindset every single day. And as you're all here, shows me you have a growth mindset, a mindset always looking to learn. Now, even with 31 years experience in leadership, I listen to audiobooks and read books every single day to consistently see how I can learn more to help my clients and myself. So we want to focus on our mindset and know that none of us want to make mistakes, but often we do. So I'm just going to share a couple of the most common mistakes with you this evening. And the first one is poor hiring decisions. So let me know in the chat box, are you responsible for recruitment? Yes or no? Are you responsible for recruitment? Yes or no? Okay. And my second question, I'm going to ask you, if it's a yes, put a 1. If it's a no, put a 2. Do you know how to follow a recruitment process? Okay, I'm responsible to raise leaders. Fabulous. So a lot of no's coming through for recruitment. All right. Okay, thank you. Again, do you know how to follow the recruitment process? 1 is yes, 2 is no. Just let me know. Now, often what I find specifically with leadership, and I can also share with you my first 10 years in leadership, I was not responsible for the recruitment process, which means my boss just handed me staff members to lead, which made it very challenging. Because once I started identifying what was the right personality for the right role, and also how do the personalities of my team complement each other, I then started studying recruitment and realized there is so much more than just hiring a square peg and sticking them in a round hole. The importance of understanding recruitment, even if you're not responsible for recruitment, ask to be part of the recruitment decisions so that if you're leading a team, you can choose the team you would want to work with that's going to complement you and the team you lead. So I actually have a course called Recruiting Talent. And what I do cover in here, because there are so many aspects to recruitment, is how do we source applicants? Where do we find talent? Because if you're looking for talent, talent's also looking for companies with talent. How do we word advertisements to attract the right personality for that right role? What do we look for when we are screening CVs? And I can tell you, I've gone through thousands and thousands of CVs. What are those red flags? What needs doing? Then we have the pre-interview process to following the interview, and I share over 150 questions that you can use, plus how to close the interview. just on that, not that you're going to use all those questions, but using which ones you choose to. And then going to reference checks. The importance of finding the right person for that role is so important. Now, often what I find is we don't even know our minimum standards. And what we do is we kind of go, well, I need this position. I put out an ad, 5 people apply. I interview the 5 people. And then I choose the best of the 5. But yet, it's about knowing your minimum standard. This is what I want. This is what the business deserves. And if I'm interviewing 5 people and they're all below minimum standard, there is no way I want to compromise. Because if you hire the best of the 5, it might take you 3 to 6 months to train them just to meet your minimum standard. Their growth might have been 100% by now, but they're only meeting your minimum standard. They're not going to grow anymore. And this is the importance about having job responsibility agreements or job descriptions. It's the importance of having minimum standards, but also the importance of identifying the right person for the right role. So if you just keep doing what you're doing, what's the cost of that? Doing absolutely nothing. I mean, what's the cost of keeping the wrong person in the wrong role? Well, let's say you're spending 16 hours per month fixing somebody with poor work performance. That is average salary, 20,000 Rand, loss in time, turnover, and mistakes. And if you're spending on average 4 hours a week fixing their mistakes, that's over 208 hours in a year, over 50,000 Rand in time and mistakes. What's the cost of leading without clarity and confidence? Loss of productivity and profitability. So to stay doing nothing is costing you and your team a lot of time and energy. And it's not just your time. Again, it's your energy as well, but also your team morale. Think about it in a time that you've worked for a company that there's somebody there that just gets away with everything. Isn't it annoying? So if you're finally given the opportunity to step into the role that you've earned, don't you want to stay in love with that role? You have worked so hard to get there. And there's nothing worse with trying to work with square pegs in round holes. So how would you be able to improve your leadership skills? Having a say with recruitment, understanding how to recruit talent, bringing in the right people to put in the right place, and leading the right team. Our second of managers' most common mistakes is how now to lead our team, understand our team, irrespective of their personalities. This is, for me, one of my favorite sessions to train. And in fact, this session alone is a 2-hour session. I use the DISC profile, whereby you learn how to do personality profiling for yourself, for your team, for recruiting, for clients, for colleagues, for partners, and then how do you shift your communication to get the desired result? Now, the DISC profile, you might have heard of the colors or the birds. You get about 10 different profiling systems that you can use. My one is the DISC, but importantly, when you walk away, you know how to implement it. So let's think about somebody with the dominant top left-hand side, formal personality profiling. They fall under a D, which is direct. Now, for each of us in this room, all of us will fall in 1 or 2 quadrants. Some of us mostly in 1 or equally between 2. Yet we all have a little bit of all 4 within us, but we usually have a predominant personality. So as I share, let me know which one's resonating the most for you. Well, somebody that's a very high D is a direct personality. They are liking to be in charge. They almost just get it done kind of personalities. You know, like Nike, just do it. They're very task and challenge orientated. Bottom line people. They can come across quite fast and aggressive because they just want to get the jobs done, quite short, quite agitated, always want to be in the loop and have their finger on the pulse. Somebody in the top right-hand corner, which is your dominant informal high I, otherwise known as influential or yellow, very expressive personality. They're motivated by flattery. They love being around positive, happy people. They're usually the life of the party as well. They yet can come across quite dramatic and egotistical, often to others, never to themselves, but always the vibe of the office. Bottom right-hand corner, we have the informal, easygoing, S for steady. This personality is peacemakers or peacekeepers. They will often go the extra mile to help others, never say no to their own job, and often compromising their performance to help yours. And the bottom left-hand corner, formal, easygoing, C for compliant, which is your analytical personality. They are motivated by accuracy. So they want all the details to make sure they get everything done right. And with that, ask a lot of questions. So let me know in the chat box, which one resonated the most for you? Out of the disc profile, which one resonated the most with you? Okay, Noko says, I have all. We all have all four, but we predominantly usually have one or the other. So often it's about identifying who you are and then understanding your personality type and how to adapt to the different personalities that you lead. I remember the one restaurant I ran in the Caribbean, I said to my boss, you know, running a restaurant's so easy, but the staff are so hard. And that's exactly what it is. Leadership is about working with your team, understanding their strengths, understanding their weaknesses, and how to bring out the best result. All right, so Calvin says he's a CS, fabulous. All right, Noku says I'm a D, steady mostly, but also direct. Wandile, red and blue, red dominant, yellow to a lesser degree. Thank you, Cindy. So what's beautiful about this is once you understand this, it is life-changing. In fact, those of you that have worked with me, I use this session in every single course I train. For leadership, how to lead your team. In recruitment, how to recruit the right team member for the right role. In sales, how to adapt your personality for your client's personality to win the client and close the deal. And you can use it in every different form. It is such a cool tool. So if you look at this outcome, they're all looking at the exact same thing at a sports event. The outcome is exactly the same, but the way they're reacting is different. I could very easily tell you every single person on this photo's personality type, which would be my opinion, simply with their body language, their facial expression, and what they are wearing. And by the end of the session of the 2 hours of that particular disc profiling session, you'd be able to do the same. So let me ask you, how would you be able to improve your leadership skills once you understand each of your team members' personality to communicate to get the best result? Can you see how transformational that is? Thank you. I love all the answers coming through. Wonderful. The third of managers' most common mistakes. You could do more. Think about it. What could you do more with love, work-life balance? So how many of us or you have heard of the 80-20% principle? Focusing on giving more time to the top 20%. But so often we spend 80% of the time to get 20% of the results. This is about shifting it from the 20% to get the 80% results. And this is where it starts off with really identifying what are your big rocks at work. I'm going to highly encourage you tomorrow to go print out your job description or job responsibility agreement. Get a highlighter and highlight what is the 20% that no one else in the company can do. That was your expertise that you were hired for, the most important part of your job. And until that's done, nothing else matters. The 80% comes after the 20% that you've achieved, or focusing on delegation to get someone to support you, leveraging and empowering others to learn. Because so often, if we focused on everything, we become exhausted. And we so then focused on being busy and not necessarily productive. How often at the end of the day, you come home and you go, wow, that was such a busy day, but you feel like you've achieved nothing. The difference between busy and productive. Now, when I used to check in with my director of Woolworths every day, and he used to go, so how was your day? And I'd go, oh, I was so busy. The question he used to ask me was, what value did you add to the company today? That sentence has never left my mind. And in fact, even with my own business now for 5 years, I ask myself that every day. What value did I add to the winning attitude today? And that helps me stay clear and focused. I'm clear on my goals, my personal and my professional goals. I use a tool called the 411, which is 1 year, 1 month, 4 weeks. And all my clients that I coach and work with use exactly the same tool. It helps you to stay streamlined, clear, and focused on your personal goals, professional goals, and financial goals. And then, most importantly, focusing on a success list. Because how many of us have these to-do lists that consist of everything we need to do, which is often long and takes us off track? And just because it's there, we feel like we have to do it, which is a complete time waster. I mean, let's be honest. Have you ever gone to a to-do list to tick something off? It's not there, so you write it there just to tick it off? Yep, I'm guilty. We want to be focusing on a success list. Success lists are short. They're there to give us purpose, to create extraordinary results, to help us achieve. And success lists help you succeed. So my goal for the 80-20% principle is you're so clear on your goals so that you can use the 411, focusing purely on your success list, and then time blocking your calendar for success. How many of you know about time blocking or have done time blocking? So how many of you have done that? It's very important and changes now in leadership by your entire life. Love that, Cindy. Thank you. Right? How many of you have done time blocking? Well, this is just an example of my calendar this week, being completely vulnerable and transparent. So right here, when I look at my calendar, I color code according to my being busy, being productive, my goals. So my dark green is when I'm physically earning money. So money making activities. My light green is focusing on my 20% that's going to help me money making activities. I then have blue, which is focusing on my 411, my goals that I've set for myself, my success list. And my orange is my personal goals, focusing on my time. And the important part of having this balance. These are the simplified tools that I share from time blocking to the 411. And I can honestly say I never used to have orange on my calendar ever, because all I did was work. Now I have a lovely balance between work, life, and balance. So if you're ever finding yourself getting overwhelmed, ask yourself, what's the one thing you can do? Such by doing it will make everything else easier or unnecessary. That quote's taken from the book, The One Thing. And a quote I often ask myself, what needs doing to make everything easier or unnecessary? So what could you focus on if you had more time? Let's go to managers' most common mistake, number 4. And this is effective communication. Now, saying this, the difference between a manager and a leader is the leader has the ability to allow their team to achieve a common goal, often through clear, effective communication. The difference between a manager and a leader is exactly that, effective communication. Now, learning these tools and training for 14 years before I went into real estate and then starting my own business, I decided in 2021, just as I started, I really wanted to learn more about speaking. I signed up for 2 public speaking courses, one locally and another one internationally. Very blessed, became a co-coach for the local one for 2 years, and then the TEDx Cape Town speaker coach. A year later, I decided to launch my own Speak with Impact for public speaking course. I have now over 48 graduates that have gone through my course in a year. And then also found out that not everyone wants to be a keynote speaker, but so many people lack the confidence just in sales, and have such launched Speak with Impact for Sales and have had over 100 graduates through that course. But what I learned over the last 5 years of studying and learning speaking, that effective communication can help in every aspect of your business. From day-to-day conversations with your team, with your clients, with your colleagues. If you're in an entrepreneurial position, it helps you in your personal relationships. It gives you the confidence to speak clearly and concisely and choosing your words. It helps you in business, in sales, negotiation skills, and most importantly, in leadership. Effective communication makes a difference to your life. So be it that you just want to learn how to speak effectively, giving a one-to-one instruction or direction, or speaking to your team, or sometimes we're overly confident, and I call it speaking the washing machine spin cycle, where you're actually just talking so much that you're spitting words out endlessly, and that is going on a spin cycle. So be it one-to-one, one-to-many, or getting off that spin cycle, effective communication can make a massive shift. Recently, I had a lady that did my course, and after the second session, she was like, I have never hosted a staff meeting because I'm petrified standing in front of my team. She has a team of 80 staff members. Now she confidently hosts team meetings. And the one sentence she said to me that I loved is that she had fallen in love with her voice. So how could learning these skills improve your communication with your team? So often when we think about this, it's not just about leadership. And what I share with you, it's about the way your team will see you, hear you, more importantly, follow your lead. So other common mistakes that I share throughout my course. And often again, we don't want to think we make mistakes, but even if we could improve one thing, would it be worth it? Well, some of us don't understand how to set goals and the purpose of a goal, the difference between performance management and consequence management, not understanding accountability and how to inspire accountability in your business, not communicating openly and building that trustworthy environment, the difference between the dictatorial management style and the wanting to be liked, not understanding how to motivate your employees, not leading by example. We don't even realize our behavior is consistently influencing our team, and turning these into a positive can turn your business into fantastic results. But what keeps managers stuck? Hiring under pressure, desperate to get somebody, low-performing teams that drains your energy, overwhelmed because you need to do it all yourself, leading without a clear system, fear of confrontation, and how many of us have fear of failure? So If managers are losing productivity, great team members, and time every single day, simply being stuck in the same habit, can you afford to lose 3 more months repeating these same mistakes? So I want to ask you right here, right now, with your permission, may I share more information about my powerful leadership transformation course with you? Would you like to follow the 3 C's of life? The choices, chances, and changes. Making the choice, taking a chance. So I can share a course with you that can change your life. Let me know in the chat box. May I go ahead and share? All right, Cindy says, please do. Thank you, Cindy. May I go ahead and share my powerful leadership transformation course with you? Thank you, Calvin. I just want to get permission. Thank you so much. Go ahead. Yes, please. Fabulous. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So my name's Nikki Abraham. I'm a public speaker strategist, a TEDx Cape Town speaker coach, and a leadership extraordinaire. And I empower managers to become effective leaders so they can increase productivity and create an environment whereby their team want to perform to their full potential, which will automatically increase your profit margins without working harder, only smarter. So let me ask you, would 12 modules of clarity and structure help you finally feel in control? And if you saw yourself in today's session, it's not a mistake. That's clarity. And clarity leads to change. But before I go there, I just want to introduce you to Nadia and hear what Nadia shares.
Hi, I'm Nadia, and I won Nikki's Powerful Leadership Transformation course at a fundraiser. At the time when I started the course, I was not in a leadership position, but about 2 weeks in, I got retrenched from my previous position, and I was not sure where I was going next, and my self-confidence and belief in the work that I was doing, or my ability to do my work, was very low. Nikki's leadership course gave me the confidence, the skills and the tools to believe in myself, and the courses helped me to speak to people, has changed the way that I think about myself, and it has helped me to shatter the limiting beliefs that I have about myself. I feel a lot more confident, and now that I am almost finding myself in a leadership position, I am super excited to apply the tools that I have learned so that I may be as inspiring as Nikki to the people that I work with. Nikki, I'd like to thank you so much for the support and all of the value that you have added to my life.
I am so incredibly proud of Nadia. And since she's done my course, she is currently now in a leadership role, leading a team in a digital marketing company internationally and doing incredibly well. So this course isn't some that you just go through alone. All you need to do is show up for the first module, and then you're not going to want to stop. Besides the fact, I hold you accountable right the way through. So the Powerful Leadership Transformation, I call it the PLT 12, consists of 12 modules. And what this course covers, session number 1, we go into your big why. We set a 60-day habit. You learn how to become an effective leader. It's focusing on your 7 primary responsibilities of a manager, and then how to identify the 9 pieces of a management puzzle. Each session, 90 minutes of jam-packed value. Session number 2, it starts with your mindset and choosing your attitude. It also helps you identify the purpose of the goal and what and how to set goals from personal, professional, and financial. Session number 3 is just touching the surface right here of 80-20% principle of getting time mastery for work-life balance. You'll learn how to take this tool of your goals, put it into your 411, to do time blocking as well, shift from the to-do list to the success list, and time-saving strategies. Session number 4, we start bringing accountability into the picture, holding you accountable for taking control of your time and your goals. Session number 4, then, we also cover managers' most common mistakes, part 2 and part 3. We speak about communication, building a trustworthy relationship and environment, dictatorial aggressive management, criticism and negative discipline, how to motivate employees, and not wanting to be liked. Session number 5, managers' mistakes, part 4, from poor hiring decisions to delegation, conflict resolution, and leading by example. And more importantly, the difference between performance management and consequence management. Because delegation and conflict has turned out to be 2 of the top areas that managers need a lot of help in, I have turned those both into 90-minute training sessions with simplified tools. Session number 7, the DISC training, as I touched on earlier, a 2-hour jam-packed session whereby you get to understand your personalities, your team's personalities, and how you adapt your communication style to the different personalities you work with. Session number 7 is all about effective delegation, from the benefits of delegation to essential criteria of delegation, how to prevent reverse delegation, and learning the 6-step tool for effective delegation for a win-win. Session number 8, all about conflict management. Again, understanding different personalities and how they handle conflict, the dangers of ignoring conflict, the benefits of handling conflict, and the 4-step process to handling and resolving conflict. Session number 5, it's removing any of those potential limiting beliefs that may be holding you back in this leadership role so that you can step into the purposeful power you are. Session number 10, management styles and powers, the autocratic versus participative, being effective attributes of a leader, and your management power. And then more importantly, how do you master your potential as a leader? Session number 11 is all the different types of, thank you, there we go, I like that, Toby. So the session number 11 is all 5 different ways of how you can conduct meetings with an agenda, and with that, using 5 different meeting styles and icebreakers. Also, part 2, team meeting and growing your team. Session 12 is all about part 1, inspiring accountability, and then the key to leadership. So this course will help you stop doubting your leadership and owning your role as a confident, strategic team builder. So let me ask you, money aside, I mean, if this was free, if I could help you grow from a manager into a leader, so you can lead your team to achieve a common goal and increase productivity and profitability without working harder, only smarter, who would want to work with me? Just let me know in the chat box. Sorry, I didn't have my glasses on, no tumfuni, so I said your name incorrectly. There we go. Money aside. All right, Cindy says, for sure, I'd love to, says Calvin. And one of the things that I've learned is I would love to say this is for free, but I've also learned the value of free. I have spent hundreds of thousands of rand of studying, learning, consistently learning, and improving my systems, my material to help you. So as much as I'd love to say this is for free, would you give me your service for free, your products for free? So I'm really wanting to say yay, but this is my livelihood, and I believe as well investing in yourself to become the best version of yourself. So again, go and have a look at my Google reviews. Go and see what other people have said about me. Go and see what difference I've made in their lives. Actually, the difference they made in their lives through my sharing of my knowledge. So again, you know, just beautiful, some reviews that I have written in my Google review. But I want to tell you about non-client club. It's Happiness. Happiness joined me. She first phoned me and asked me a few questions, and I said to her, what do you do? And she said, well, I'm a paramedic in Durban, and I work for government, but I'm not in leadership yet, but I don't want to be a paramedic forever. I want to lead my team. She invested in herself, signed up for the course, and while she was busy with the course, she got promoted. People saw her potential. A few weeks ago, I reached out to her and just followed up because I love staying in contact with people that I've worked with. And this is what she shared with me. Please enjoy and listen.
After I did the course, I got promoted from being an operational paramedic who was a shift worker to an acting sub-district manager. Imagine, Nick, sub-district manager. So I'm managing close to 90, if not 90, is 92 staff that I am managing. Yeah, I didn't think that I'll be able to do that, Nick. As you know me, as you know, when I was starting to do the course, I was also like a shy person. I can stand as a sub-district manager. And I'm looking forward to apply for the post when it being advertised. I'm not gonna be an acting SDM for so long. I'll end up being sub district manager because of your cause, Nick. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Bye.
Isn't that incredible? Now leading a team of 92 staff members. I mean, just made me cry when I got that. So lovely. And now Mariska, again, Mariska also joined, invested in herself. And within a few weeks, her company came to her and said, "What's changed? What are you doing?" And she said, "Oh, well, I've invested in myself. I'm doing this course." And they were like, "What? Give us that invoice. Your transformation has been incredible. We want to pay it
Hi,
for
Nikki.
you."
I just wanted to let you know how much my life has changed since I joined one of your courses. So, just over a year ago, I took a leap of faith and I joined one of your courses. And it was about a month in, and one of the directors noticed a change in me, and so much that they offered to pay for the rest of my course, which was amazing, such a blessing, something I never saw coming. And then following the course, I just followed your advice, stayed in touch, still seeing you on a regular basis, and now being part of the leadership mindset. It's changed me so much. It has empowered me to work better with my team, to be a better leader. And on top of that, I just got to share this with you. I have just recently got promoted to director, so yay, super excited for the future. And thank you to you.
Incredible, right? Now a director of her company in a space of a year. So this is not for everyone. This is really for people who want to make the difference. If you just want to come here and learn the basics of delegation and walk away, this is not for you. Cindy, very rewarding. Absolutely. Isn't that incredible? Thank you. Yes, so incredible. So again, you can choose to do this slow or you can do this fast. And my powerful leadership transformation, my PLT 12. But I have some brilliant bonuses I want to share with you for those action takers. I like people that are ready to dive in, people that are ready to say yes. And if that means you are ready, but you just want to chat to your boss to see if your boss can contribute or invest in you, send me an email, let me know so I can save these bonuses for you. But one of the first bonuses is you get 12 weeks of the Go Getter Business Mastermind. So this is every Tuesday morning for 30 minutes. It's a group of like-minded business people. We hold each other accountable weekly for our goals and always share incredible, inspirational, valued information. This alone is valued at 1,800 Rand. Bonus number 2, 3 months free access to the Leadership Mastermind. That's for anyone that's in my course already or completed my course. every second Monday for an hour, valued at 1,800 Rand. Bonus number 3, you get to join me bi-monthly. This is a Ask Me Anything session, live coaching, where you at, and I will answer everything that I can, valued at 1,997 Rand. Then you'll get some bonus on-demand sessions, pre-recorded sessions ready for you, handling challenging clients using communication of a 6-step tool. So you can turn challenging clients into loyal clients, valued at 1,997, as well as the art of negotiation communication. So the value of the powerful leadership transformation, all the bonuses as well, the Go-Getters Business Mastermind valued at 1,800, 3 months leadership mastermind 1,800, the bi-monthly ask coaching sessions 1,997, handling challenging clients 1,997, same as the art of negotiation, and my 12 modules of the powerful leadership transformation valued at 15,997. So total value is 23,788, but a line straight through that amount. So the total price, the value of all of these bonuses is 23,788 Rand. Yet the next 24 hours, you get the bonuses as well. And I have a special, which is immediate access to the course at 9,997 Rand. So right this evening, a saving of 5,000 Rand, full access to the 12 modules, all the bonuses, live access, coaching, masterminds, and the go-getters. I also want to share with you my recruiting talent, as I've touched on. That on-demand course price is 4,997 Rand as well, immediate access. But wait, there's more. If you love what you've heard for leadership and for recruitment, I have a 20% off combo, which is for both courses, lead and recruit with confidence at 11,997 Rand. I will drop the link shortly. So again, thank you. My name's Nikki Abraham. I am super excited that you spent your Tuesday evening with me. And I'm just going to leave this right here, the different prices. I will drop the links in the chat box. And if there are any questions, please feel free to raise your digital hand or type them in the chat box so I can answer them. Please also make sure, if you haven't yet left your email address, that you do that so that I can make sure I tag you correctly and send you your gift. So the first course, PLT 12, there is the link in the chat box. Then I have as well the combo link too. I hope you've learned something new, combo for both. And I, again, appreciate every single one of you being here with me this evening. I hope you've learned something new. And I look forward to working with you as soon as you're ready. So when you say, do you receive a certificate? Yes, you do. As soon as you have finished the course, not for this masterclass here. Isaac, do you receive a certificate after this? Not after this evening, not for a masterclass. Yes, at the end of your course, there are assignments, there are assessments. I also get to see where you're at, so that you're doing your course, it's showing up for the bi-monthlies and the questionnaires, holding you accountable. And then once completed your course, yes, you do get a certificate. Hope that answers your question. So my pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you, Calvin. Appreciate that. Really appreciate you. And thank you to everyone that has been here this evening. I really hope I've got all. I've got Samsung A045F. I hope I've got an 055F. I hope I've got your email addresses so I can tag you and send you the email. But again, thank you for your time. your patience, and it was wonderful spending this Tuesday evening with you. If there are any questions, you're welcome to reach out. I'm going to drop my email address in the chat box, so you're welcome to drop me a quick email. The winning attitude. .co.za. You're welcome to drop me an email if you want to speak to your boss and you'd like me to save those bonuses for you. Please do reach out. If there are no questions, I appreciate you all being here. Thank you so much. I will hang around for a minute or two. If you want to chat, I am here. If you'd like me to give you a call, drop your phone number and I will give you a call straight away. Thank you, everyone. Good evening and good night.